Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Aaron's, and today we'll be counting down my top 15 favorite shiny Pokemon in the Kanto region that I can't wait to shiny hunt. So obviously the reason why I'm doing this video is because the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games come out exactly a week from right now. And because of that, we will be in the Kanto region catching the original 151 Pokemon. Or catching the original 150 Pokemon, because I guess we're not going to be catching Mew, technically. So I decided to make this list, and with this list there are a couple rules. I'm not including any legendary Pokemon, because we're not entirely sure if they're going to be shiny locked. And I am also not including your partner Pokemon, and I'm also not including the original starter Pokemon, so no Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander. So the first Pokemon that we have on my list is Psyduck. So shiny Psyduck is this really cool, like, bubblegum kind of blue color. It's kind of close to Mew shiny, it's just a slightly different color blue, which I think is a really neat shiny. I think that Psyduck shiny has always been one of my favorites looking back at the series, but the shiny evolution for Psyduck, which is Golduck, is not that interesting. I don't know why I don't like it. I think it's just because it looks a lot like the original Golduck and you can't really tell the two apart that much. So number 14 is the Nidoran male line, and as well as Nidoking. So this line's kind of cool. They decided to go on a blue route as well, and Nidoking being this like really deep kind of ocean blue is a really interesting take on the evolution line. But the whole evolution line is actually really interesting looking. I really like what they did with this evolutionary line. I like what they did with the Nidoran female line as well, but I'm not a huge fan of that like faded camouflage green mixed with the pink in the Nidoqueen. It looks better in the Go games than it does in the actual Pokemon games, but it's not one of the most attractive shinies in my opinion. So coming in at number 13 on my list, and there's an obvious reason for it, is Voltorb and Electrode. I think that these shinies are a perfect example of what shinies should be, breaking the norms of the Pokemon color palettes. And by that, they switched the red for this really cool blue. So far on my list, we've got a lot of blue shinies. That's about to change. Number 12 on my list is Shiny Sandshrew and Shiny Sandslash. Wow, those are actually harder than I thought to say. So shiny Sandshrew is like this really cool kind of neon green. He almost looks like he's like going out to like a rave or like some sort of neon bar or club to go dancing. And then shiny Sandslash, jeez, I can't even say it. Shiny Sandslash, oh my god. Shiny Sandslash is this really cool red going on with his back spikes, which I think is a really neat shiny. This is one of the most underrated shinies in my opinion. I feel like nobody ever really talks about shiny Sandslash. Oh my god, I can't say it. So coming in at number 11 is Slowbro. And the reason why I included Slowbro but not Slowpoke is because, again, Slowpoke is another shiny Pokemon that looks almost like the original. In fact, hunting this Pokemon in the past, I've almost failed hunting because he looks so close to the original sprite, or character model, I guess you could say. But shiny Slowbro is actually this really cool, like it's almost like a Beanie Baby purple. Like that's the first thing that came to mind. I don't know why. It reminds me of a Beanie Baby. And his like conch shell or whatever the heck is on his tail is like this really rusty kind of gold color, which I think is it accents him perfectly. It's really weird because the two colors really don't go together, but for whatever reason, because of this Pokemon and the way that he's put together and the shell on his tail, it just works. For some reason that color combination works. So coming in at number 10 is one of the weirdest Pokemon in my opinion. The first time I ever played the Pokemon series was with Pokemon Blue, and when I caught this Pokemon, I thought it was really strange. I thought it was almost like an accident. And that Pokemon is Tangela. And I think what they did with the shiny was perfect. I think this like color swap to this like crazy green is what shiny Pokemon are all about. This Pokemon really saved itself with its shiny. Not that Tangela is a bad Pokemon, I just think that Tangela with the blue tangles is like, it's an okay Pokemon design, but this like green Tangela, for whatever reason, has like piqued my interest, you know? So coming in at number 9 on my list is Lickitung. And the reason for this is the first ever shiny Pokemon that I got from a Wonder trade, and it was actually a Japanese Lickitung. And I didn't even realize how cool this shiny Pokemon was until that Wonder trade. And I can't remember what generation it was. It might have been generation 5 that this took place. But up until that time, I didn't really look up what shiny Pokemon looked like. So when I received this Lickitung in a Wonder trade, it blew my mind. But it was because when I was younger and wanting to be surprised by shiny Pokemon, I would only ever see what they looked like when I went into battle with them, and that kept them really fresh. So up until about 5-6 years ago even, I didn't clearly know what every shiny Pokemon looked like, which is crazy because most shiny hunters that I know of know every shiny Pokemon by memory, and I don't. I still have trouble remembering color swaps because of the fact that I never looked them up. I never wanted it to spoil my experience. I wanted to run into them in the wild and be surprised by their color changes. That being said, Lickitung is still a really cool Pokemon, so it kind of adds to the value as well. He's a very strange creation. Number 8 on my list is Coughing and Wheezing. And the reason for this is their color changes to this like light blue and they emit purple smoke, and I think that is just trippy. I love that. So coming in at number 7 on my list is Chancy. And this one actually surprised me because I've never liked Chancy's shiny. I think that Chancy's shiny has always kind of reminded me of Throw Up. And the green is slowly started to grow on me. I don't know why. So number 6 on my list is Vulpix and Ninetales. And Vulpix's shiny is not that interesting to me. I think that that weird yellow with like it almost looks like an ashy kind of red color is not that appealing. But the shiny Ninetales is beautiful. It's like the silver with these like blue tips for the tails, and I would love to have that Pokemon. Number 5 on my list is Horsey and Sidra. And I wish Kingdra, but that's not until Generation 2. But this one's always been one of my favorite shinies because the color palette is like this kind of like princess kind of blue for Horsey, but then it turns into this like really dark blue, almost purple for Sidra, and then Kingdra is purple, and I love that entire evolutionary line. I think the shinies are perfect. I think they're better than the original Pokemon. Number 4 on my list just recently came out a couple days ago on Pokemon Go and was one that everybody was looking for, and that is Ponyta. The blue flames are perfect. I think this shiny is beautiful, but then they had to go and ruin it with shiny Rapidash. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is they desaturate Rapidash instead of just giving it the blue flames like Ponyta had. And I think that was a dumb move. I think the desaturation would be cool if Ponyta would have stayed desaturated as well. But because they did it as the second one, it's kind of like this letdown because you have this really cool pre-evolution and then you get to the final stage and you're like, why do I have this Pokemon? Number 3 is Porygon. And this one's kind of my favorite because it's very coveted for me. It's one of those Pokemon that's hard to get in the main series games. You had to get it in the game corner in the first gen, and it's just always a hassle to try and get this Pokemon. So having to soft reset for it is going to be a nightmare, but it's totally worth it. The shiny is like this kind of off red, almost pink, and this like really weird kind of blue. I don't know why I've always liked this combination, but maybe it's because I've never had a shiny Porygon and I really, really want one. Number 2 on my list is Dratini, and more specifically Dragonite. So Dratini and Dragonair shinies are really cool, but Dragonite's is freaking green. He looks like Elliot from Pete's Magic Dragon. In fact, I named my first ever shiny Dratini Elliot after Pete's Magic Dragon. So this is probably one of the most anticipated ones. It's my most anticipated shiny for almost every game because of that nostalgia factor that it reminds me of Elliot. But that's why it had to be number 2. So you're thinking in your head now, how can I top that Before I get into my top pick, go ahead and hit that like button below if you like this video. Go ahead and comment with which Pokemon you're most excited to shiny hunt in the new games. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Don't forget to ring the bell to get notifications from me. So let's jump right into it. My number 1 pick may surprise you. It's Ditto. If you have a shiny Ditto, you essentially have a shiny anything. This Pokemon is essential for any shiny hunter. And its shiny is actually really cute. It mimics the same type of shiny that Mew has, which is probably one of my all-time favorite shinies. It goes from that pink to this like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful candy ball blue. And I'm gonna rush to Cinnabar Island so I can probably shiny hunt this one first. So what do you think? Do you agree with my picks? Do you think I missed a crucial Pokemon? And if you guys are interested in watching me stream a shiny hunt from the new Let's Go games, let me know because I am seriously considering buying a capture card for it. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it.